Flosstube, how are ya? It's Jeannie again, and I am back with another Flosstube video. This one is going to be my July update, and then also I have decided to do Arbitrary August. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and what my plans are. I have several things today. I've got a couple of finishes. Yay! Finally getting some finishes this year, and I have been focusing on a finish on the last couple of months. So I'm pleased to say that I did get some of those things accomplished that I planned. So anyways, let's just jump right into it. The first finish that I had was the summer season of this Lizzie Kate Seasons pattern. I did this one. And if you've watched my other videos, then you probably know this, but if you're new to my channel, welcome. Let me first say that. But also to tell you that this is the first project that I ever did on even weave. So this is on 28 count Monaco even weave, and so it was my first project, and I started it for Stitch Mania and finished it. Oh gosh, I probably finished it probably a month ago or so. It's probably a week after I was almost done with it the last time I did a Flosstube video, and so I finished it within a couple of days of that. So I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do with it yet. I do love it. I've decided that while it's a challenge, much more of a challenge for counting on even weave, I do love the result. I love how the stitches are bigger than the weave of the fabric and the texture that that gives. So anyway, so my only other thing about this, I did do the DMC. There's a Weeks Dye Works thread options on this one, and then also DMC, and I did do the DMC, but I shared this in my last video too. I wish I would have chosen different colors, because I feel like the colors in this are they're a little bit fallish for summer. I would have liked to have more summery colors. I would have definitely switched out the yellow, the orange, and probably the red, and I probably would have gone with a lighter pink too. So anyway, and the green is kind of warm as well. So, but anyway, I'm not going to redo it, at least not at this point. And I think I will use the DMCs for the fall option there, but I probably will change up the colors for both spring and winter, just to make them a little bit more seasonal to my taste. But anyway, so there's that, and I was pleased to get that done, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Probably I'll try to find a little frame for it and switch them out for the seasons. My next finish is, this was a Priscilla and Chelsea stitch along a while ago. I'm sure it was over a year ago. And this is Bless Our Home by Country Cottage Needleworks, and I just finished it up the other day. May have seen it on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. But I just finished this one up, and I did make some changes on this one. This is what the pattern is supposed to look like. Sorry for the glare. So as you can see there, it has a little brown dog. It says Bless Our Home. I did choose Priscilla's conversion colors when I bought this from, I think, Down Sunshine Lane when they first started the stitch along. I'm probably the last one done. but anyway, so I did not do it in the called for colors. I did it in Priscilla's conversion. And but this is the finished product, and I did change it up a little bit to be a little memorial piece for our 17-year-old dog that we lost last October. He was a Jack Russell Terrier, so I stitched up the dog to look like a Jack Russell Terrier, and then to look like, specifically to look like Otis, and then I changed the wording to Bless Our Otis rather than Bless Our Home. I kind of wish I would have done Miss Our Otis, but I didn't decide to do that until after I already had this stitched, these words stitched, and I thought, well, I'll just try putting Otis in, because I really only had to figure out how to do the I and the T, which was just really the L with a few modifications. And so I went ahead and did it, and then I thought, I'll see how it looks. And of course I had a big gap right here, so I just eyeballed a heart. I did find a heart pattern on another, in a booklet that I had, and I just I counted across, and I just thought this is kind of in the middle of these two words, and I just put it in. And I'm really pleased at how it came out, because I didn't have the whole bottom border stitch, but look how it lined up with that flower. I thought I couldn't have done that better if I had planned it. So anyway, so that is how I modified it. I did have one other, I did put an eye on the bird. The bird did not have an eye in the pattern, and I decided to give, I'm not very good at French knots, but so I decided to do a little teeny French knot in the eye for the bird. And then I also, one of the other mistakes that I made is that I assumed when I was stitching the tree that all the branches were the same, and so I did, but they were graduated to smaller toward the top of the tree. So these two are the same, and then I did a smaller one at the top. So the tree's a little boxier than what the pattern called for, but I think it's fine. It didn't really change the dimensions of anything, and so I thought it was okay. So I just left it. So anyway, and I'm sorry I didn't get it ironed. I probably should have done that, but didn't have the ironing board out. So there you go. But I'm pleased to get that one done. I'm thinking about maybe sewing this one into a little pillow maybe, but I'm not sure. Haven't decided yet, but I really like how it came out, and I like having a memorial piece for my doggie. I think I will not stitch the date on here. I think I'm gonna, whatever I do to finish it, I'm gonna put a patch or a sticker on it that says 2001 2018 and when and that was stitched by me and that kind of thing. So that is Bless Our Home, or in my case, Bless Our Otis. So pleased to have that one done. Liked how it came out. And then the only other thing that I have worked on since my last Flosstube is the Nora Corbett Petite Mermaid Luce Mia. And this is one I am trying to finish. I'm kind of focusing on a finish for the big piece because I'd like to get this one done for my daughter's birthday in late September. So I have made quite a bit of headway on her. I think last time you saw her, I had everything, all her skin done and her head and her face. It started at the top, so I've gotten all the tail that you see here done, and then the part of the sash that she's holding. And so so this is where I am on her. My big problem, you guys, with this one is I decided to do it on a smaller count than what was called for, and I had already purchased the beads, and I think some of the beads are going to be too big, especially the bugle beads. You can see she's got bugle beads on her tail, and those are going to be way too big for this count. So I'm going to try to get some smaller bugle beads, and if I can't do that, I might just fill in those stitches with a shimmery thread. This pattern doesn't call, the fabric is shimmery, but it doesn't call for any like Krynic, so I think I might just use a sparkly Krynic to fill those in and give her tail a little bit more sparkle. But anyway, but I haven't started beading yet. I think I may need to move the Q-snap to finish her tail. And I've never beaded before, so I'm kind of procrastinating because I'm scared. But anyways, but this is where I am on her, and I think she's coming out really pretty. And this is on 18 count April Showers by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. So loving her and really think she's coming together. So, but like I said, I'd like to get her done within enough time to get her framed before the end of September. So I got to really kick it up a notch here for August. Let's move on to haul. A couple of things that I got that were more like gadgets or whatever is I did go ahead and get some of these thread keeps, and these people are using to kind of hold their fabric, their excess fabric, like on the frame of their Q-snap, and I do like them. They are good for that. I was hoping they would hold the fabric in a roll when stitching in hand, and they do that, but they're kind of heavy. They're like silicone or something, and they're kind of heavy, so they kind of weigh it down, especially if it's not a giant piece of fabric. They kind of weigh it down when you're stitching in hand, but I'll keep playing with them, and you can see I got a giant pack here. The other thing I went ahead and got was some Wonder Clips. I want to start doing some finishing, and I think as part of my August I don't really have a good place to keep my sewing machine set up, and so I think I'm going to try to find like a week in August where I just set it up, I leave it up all week, and I do all the things that I'd like to at least try for sewing. So I want to try to finish a couple things. I also I might try a project bag, and I want to do a grime guard, which I think I can do. But anyway, so I've never been a big fan of pins, so I went ahead and decided to try the Wonder Clips. So I got just a little tin. I got these on Amazon. They were inexpensive, and I got a little tin. I think there's 100 in here. So I got that. Couple other things I got from Amazon is I was just, these came up in my feed, and I was just kind of perusing one day these little cross stitch kits, and I decided they were inexpensive. This one was like $7 or $8. I think this one was like $9, and I decided to go ahead and just grab them and see what I thought. And you guys, they are really, really cute. The kawaii one has these 4 little patterns. There's the pineapple, the watermelon, the strawberry, and the lemon. And they have a really, it seems like the supplies are really nice. The hoop is just cute as a button. It's this little like mint green hoop with gold hardware, and it's nice and substantial. It's a little, what is this, 3-inch hoop, I guess, but really, really super cute. So it came with that. It came with the floss, 4 different colors of floss, and this just says kawaii on it. I don't know if it's what brand it is, but that's on there too. It came with 3 pieces of 14 count cotton Aida that's pre-cut to 4x4. It also came with 2 needles, and they look okay. They look pretty sharp, but anyway, so 2 needles, and then this little 32-page booklet that includes the pattern, but it also it's really nicely made, and it includes, you know, how to cross stitch, what supplies you need, you know, different things like that, and then the patterns are in the back. So really, really cute. And the pusheen one is the same. It just, the only difference is the floss colors. The hoop is a light pink, which is really, really cute, and then the floss is also in the pusheen colors. So anyway, but anyway, they're nice. They're nice kits. So anyway, so I just, on a whim, I grabbed those. Didn't need them, but just went ahead and grabbed them. Then I also placed an order with 123 Stitch, and the one thing I needed, you guys, from 123 Stitch was this. I needed a pattern that I'm working on called for 2 rolls of this navy blue Krynic, and I only bought 1 when I bought the pattern, so I decided to go ahead and get it. And you know, nothing can travel alone, so I went ahead and purchased some of the charts that I'd really been wanting, and this was one of them, the Knee High by Hands On Design. And you guys, I just love this one. It came out not at this market in like 2018, and everybody and their brother is stitching it or has stitched it, but I just love it. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of Indiana, and for those of you who don't know, I live in California now, and just everything about it reminds me of Indiana. The barn, the quilts. My mom was a big quilter. And the corn, and Knee High by the 4th of July. I mean, we would say that every year, and it was true. In Indiana, which is a huge corn state, our biggest crops are corn, popcorn, and soybeans, and my goodness, and hogs. But my goodness, the corn was always Knee High by the 4th of July. So I knew at some point I wanted to get this pattern, so I went ahead and got it. Don't have any immediate plans to start it, but went ahead and got it. And then the other one, I have to blame this one on Stephanie at Lindy Stitches. She's an Indiana stitcher, and I love watching her. She's really funny. If you haven't watched her before, but she'd been fostering greyhounds, and she showed this pattern. And if any of you have followed me for any length of time, you know that for 10 years, we had a rescue greyhound before she passed away. She's been gone now, almost 5 years now, I guess. But anyway, and she showed this pattern, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there is a calendar of greyhounds. I have to have it. So anyway, so I went ahead and ordered this one from the Blue Flower, and I just love it. I don't think I'm going to stitch them all together like this. This is a big. I can't remember what the size is, but this, I remember it's on 40 count, and it's really, but really big, and I just don't know where I would put something that big. Plus, I don't think that I can stitch on 40 count, so it would even be bigger if I did it all together. So I think I'm going to do them individually and just do them on a bigger count fabric, and I'm going to do them one for every month and then put them out monthly, I think is what I'm going to do. This one looks like my Holly. She was a red brindle. So, but anyway, but I think they're just as cute as a button. Look at that one in the raincoat. I can't even. So anyway, so I just had to have this, and so this is, I think, going to be my new year, new start. I think I'm going to start this in 2020. But anyway, so that is that pattern that I bought. And then I also, because I've been enjoying stitching on some even weaves, I decided to try some other ones. So I just picked up a few random ones that I like the colors of. So this is a 28 count Sprite by Picture This Plus, and this one is a Lugana. I don't think I've ever done stitched on a Lugana, but it's a real pretty, I don't know how true the color's coming out, but it's kind of a, it's a pinky purple color, but it's really pretty. And then I also got the 28 count Jobelin of Babbling Brook, and I might do knee high on the 4th of July on this one. Julie from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World did that pattern on a really heavily modeled like sky blue fabric, and it looked really, really cool. So I think I might use that one for this, but it is, it's a Jobelin, and I don't know who the manufacturer is. But anyway, it's really pretty, and it's got really, really pretty modeling on it. So I might use this one for that if it's big enough. I think it is. And then the other one that I got was another Lugana, and this is called Coastal, and it's just a real pretty, like ocean blue from Picture This Plus, and it doesn't have really much modeling on it. It's lightly modeled, but it's just a gorgeous color. So I went ahead and picked up that. So that was my order from 123 Stitch. Then I did buy a couple of kits on Amazon, a couple of Dimensions kits. The first one that I got a few weeks back was this one, and I've been into my mermaids lately and decided I might want to do one for myself. And I do have a couple of other Mirabilia. I have one other Mirabilia mermaid, but I saw her online when I was kind of perusing around, and I love the gradation in her tail. I like all the stuff around her. I love how the background is stitched to look like, backstitched to look like wood. So I really liked just about everything about this chart except for, I don't know about her face. I may have to do more of a Mira type face on her, but if I can. But anyways, but I liked everything about it. I liked the colors. I think I may switch out the fabric and not do it on this 14 count Aida, but and do it on an even weave. But other than that, I got that one and I thought it was pretty. The other kit that I got, you guys, was an accidental kit. This is not the one I ordered. I ordered a, and many of you have probably seen it, and it hasn't come yet. In fact, maybe it's in my mail today, but it is it's called Victorian House by Dimensions, and I don't think it's intended to be a haunted house, but that's what it looked like to me. And there's a black cat on the porch, and I think I'm going to make it into a haunted house. But that was what I ordered, and this is what came. These dolphins. So anyway, and I was going to send them back. I did contact Amazon and the seller, and I was going to send them back, but I think I'm just going to, for now, I mean, it's kind of pretty in person, and I don't know if and when I'll ever stitch it, but I thought I'd hang on to it for a little bit. So I do have the Victorian House. It's coming, but this is what came instead. So it was a surprise. All right. So, but it is a pretty pattern, and anyway, so I'm just going to hang on to it for now, and maybe I'll give it away. Maybe I'll stitch it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but there's that. All right, so that's all for my haul. I want to move on to plans. Like I said, I need to keep working on the mermaid to try to get her done for my daughter for her birthday, but I am going to jump on the bandwagon with Stitchin Mommy-Sarah and do Arbitrary August. And if you haven't heard of that, it is it's where you stitch on, you let some kind of random generator pick what you're going to stitch on out of your whip pile through the month of August. And Sarah did it. She started it either last year or the year before, and the first time I saw her do it, she had written all her whips out. She has a lot of whips. I mean, you know, well into the double digits. And she had written them, all the ones she wanted to do, she had written them all out on a piece of paper, and she just drew them like out of a hat. And I think she did one every day. This year she's using the Tiny Decisions app, and she is doing, I think she's doing like 10 or so different ones, and doing one every 3 days. So, and I decided that's what I'm going to do as well. So I used the Tiny Decisions app during Stitch Mania, and I loved it, and so I decided to whip it out again and do it for Arbitrary August. I am doing it a little bit differently. First of all, I left Luce Mia off the wheel because I know I'm going to be working on her every day. So that left me with my finishes. That left me with 10 whips. And so what I've decided to do, I'm going to kind of follow Sarah's lead, and I'm going to do once the wheel chooses, I'm going to do that whip I'm going to work on that whip for 3 days. And because I've still got to work on the mermaid, I may get one thread in, I may get some more work on it. It'll just depend on how much time I have to stitch and kind of when it falls. But anyway, so I've also set the wheel to, so I've got all my whips on here, and I've set the wheel to only choose things once, because I really want to hit everything this time. And I know in May I didn't have it take things off the wheel, and so it chose things several times throughout the month, and I really want to, and so there were some things I didn't work on in May, and so I really want to do that. So just to touch everything, all 10 of my whips. So anyway, so I am going to draw, or go ahead and spin for today. I haven't, today is August 1st and I haven't spun, so I'm going to do that. We'll do that together. So let me go ahead and spin the wheel. So my first whip is going to be the Santa ornament. Okay, that was a mania stitch, and so I will get that out and work on that for the next 3 days through the 3rd, and then I'll spin again on the 4th. I don't know that I will do, I probably won't do an update every 3 days. I might just check in maybe in the middle of the month, and then at the end of the month as well. So I don't tend to do enough to show you guys in just a week or two's time. I'm pretty slow. So anyway, so that is it, you guys, for my Flosstube. I hope you're all doing well and finding lots of time to stitch and having a great summer. Talk to you soon. Bye.